Hello, I thought it might be interesting to have a few words about anxiety. Of course, we all know anxiety is related to fear. It's not synonymous. Anxiety seems to be something that has a sense of foreboding about it. And why? Why would there be a foreboding? Well, there could be a lot of reasons, but if it's a continuous thing that seems to have no current relationship much, I like to throw out a possibility. It seems that mammals can't handle helplessness. It's the one thing that can make them really sick or they might die. And we're the same. Except that we have enough brain cells to take that feeling of helplessness and turn it into a symbolic approach or struggle. And that's the solution. But it's also a problem. And if you've got a lot of that sort of thing triggered in you, then you have a sense of foreboding. Why? Because you've never really felt that and tied it in with the rest of your conscious awareness. Hasn't happened, right? It was blocked before it could become fully processed. You know. So it was blocked at the time, and then later it stays that way. And so when it gets triggered, you know, it's this sense of foreboding can be there without any conscious awareness of why. So that unconscious misdirection of events which makes for the unconsciousness, that needs to be fixed. You need to feel what happened to you so you can complete that process and realize it's over, so that other things can't trigger you and give you that terrible anxious foreboding. Ooh, what's going to happen next? Will I stay helpless? This is important. I could die. Yeah. So, you know, it's a matter of survival. So it's very impacting. And yet the thing is over with. You survived it. You're no longer helpless in that way. But you haven't quite realized that yet. So you have to go back and you have to feel it in its original context. And that's how you get rid of anxiety of that sort. Regarding anxieties about the future, that's real, you know, that are real possibilities. You know, with that, it's a little different story. The other thing you deal with the sense of empathy and caring. Empathy, that kind of thing that is a part of what we call our mirror neurons, is very effective in helping us to love ourselves and others. It's a way of sharing feelings from a safe position, which is exactly what you have to do if you're going to relive some situation in which you were helpless. Okay, now looking toward the future and dealing with real situations, then what you have to do then is to consider the other option, which is objective. What do you objectively know that is going to happen? And again, separating your feelings, your anxiety about what might happen, you need to, again, step outside of your emotional self. And so, being objective, that can help you to determine what there really is out there in your future that you might fear, and give you an ability to cope with it. Some fears, some anxieties are about the fact that, we only have so long to live. How do you deal with that? Well, that takes creativity. The ability to look at things from a lot of different perspectives. To get outside of your whole life and appreciate it as it is. And to realize that what you're doing now, the story that you're telling and creating, can be enjoyable for what it is. Yeah. And even though I might be approaching death, which at my age, increasingly, that's true, I can be wrapped up in the story of my life and appreciating it and calling out to myself, hey, make a difference. Make a real difference in your life. Bang. That kind of gets rid of the anxiety about death. And looking at things objectively still helps with that too. Because you don't know that you're going to die until you're dead. There's always the possibility, that creative perspective, there's always the possibility, miraculous cure at the last minute. And look, you're not going to know until you are. But then you never really knew. It just happened. So why worry about it? So it's not like you're suffering on the way out in that way. Yeah. Nothing to worry about. So these three things that I've mentioned are ways of dealing with anxiety of different kinds. And empathy's one. Very powerful, especially for learned helplessness, which is at the root of grief and PTSD and anxiety disorders, that we don't know the cause of right away. And then you've got objectivity, which allows you to get outside of your emotional experience and think about things. Be aware and think. And then you've got this ability to be creative, to be imaginative, to imagine many possible outcomes, many possible ways of seeing things, and that can be very helpful in dealing with anxiety as well. So, what I'm saying is that you have choices. And those choices can be extremely important. And under your control. So, having a sense of control works against anxiety. And that's an extremely important point, to find yourself in a greater sense of control in your life involves those three perspectives. And in a sense, these are conscious feedback loops that you can have. These are actually things that you can approach as kind of verbal dialogue. And anyway, that's what I have to say for now about anxiety. How is this optimistic intelligence or optimistic integration? Well, if you're optimistic, then you're not feeling helpless. And this process, as I'm talking about, is what I call optimistic integration. Engaging all of these inner dialogues. And we can talk about this at another time, how to do that. I welcome any questions that you might have. And thank you for listening to a YouTube channel that is more like a B movie. I realize that you're not getting the best video quality here, so I hope you like the message. If I've done a good job of giving you this message, let me know in the comments. If you have any questions, let me know. You have a great day.